Ты выключил.
You can try to share a slide again.
Okay, let me just.
Okay. I see we are live.
Yeah, we are live now.
Welcome everyone. Today we with Inal continue to deal with GameFi, and today's topic is best practices for games, how to maximize your metrics. So without a long introductions, let's get started. Inal, please continue.
Yeah, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me, and you can see my slides as well. Sorry.
Everything.
Yeah,
is
you
good.
can hear me. You can see me, right? Awesome. Yeah, let's go. No long introductions from me as well, because we actually had like a workshop yesterday. So I hope you remember me. If not, yeah, I'm gaming lead at Ton Foundation. My name is Inal, and today we're going to talk about best practices for games. So I hope I basically convinced you to build a game during our last workshop yesterday. If not, maybe you will be convinced after today's workshop. But yeah, let me talk today a little bit more about not why you should build, but how you should build games. Because yesterday it was more about why games are cool, why there's a huge potential, why there's a huge opportunity to like earn something, build a cool product for millions of users. Now we will talk about how exactly you should build games to get the most from games on Ton and Telegram. So with it, let's just jump straight into our agenda. We will talk today about three main things. The first one is about social mechanics, like how to design and implement social mechanics that you will have millions of users. Probably. Not for sure, but probably. And the next topic is how to increase your conversion and retention metrics, because basically retention is the most important metric for every single game. Conversion, it is quite important as well to make your marketing campaigns like as much effective as possible. So we will talk about conversion and retention, and I will talk about some case studies. I'll talk about several games. I will talk about how things are implemented in different games and for different audiences. Again, you will be able to ask your questions after the main part, after my presentation, after my slides. I'll try to look at the comments during the presentation as well. But yeah, feel free to just write down your questions or anything you have to add. And yeah, let's go. I'll try to keep it as short as possible today. First, before we start talking about like how exactly you should build your games, I want you to think about these questions. I mean, basically, this is one question, and there are like sub questions. The main question is, who is your player? Like, who is a person who will play your game? And what do I mean with like who? By this, I mean, what's the age of the person? Where do they live? What's the gender, and what are the habits? I think this is the most important part when you start building a game, like to actually understand like who will play your games, because there are different genres, there are different types of games, there are different visuals. Based on like answers of these questions, you have to design your game. Several examples. Let's take, I don't know, very popular game in Asia on Telegram called Kardan, and compare it with, let's say, Gato, which is more popular in Europe. And let's just compare their like visuals. They're different. They're really different. I mean, people in Asia, they depends on the part of Asia, but people in China, Japan, Korea, in those countries, they are used to more like colorful, like very bright settings. I mean, the picture should be very colorful, bright, and so on. and they should like happen many things at the same time. People in Europe, they're used more to relaxed stuff, more not that like active play, active, how to say, gameplay. And this is just one example, very simple example that I want to say. I mean, no cliches, no bias here. I'm just saying that based on the answer to this question, like who's your player, you have to design your game, like how it should look like, how the gameplay should look like, how the core game loop should look like, etc. So first that you have to start with is who is your player. Try to think of it very like carefully. Try to maybe even write it down, and it will actually help you on every single stage. Yeah, this is just quite important that you have to actually know your player. If you still do not realize who is your player, then basically you're in trouble. And next question I want you to ask yourself and to try to answer is why they play. Why players that you have described on the previous stage, why do they play? And actually, there are several categories. I mean, there are lots of books of how to design your game, how to properly design levels, etc., etc. And there are actually some like categories which you can find in books. For example, this is just one example. This is just one categorization of different types of players. Like there are killers, achievers, socialites, and explorers. Like killers, they focus on winning, ranking, like leaderboards, etc. They're engaged by leaderboards and ranks. Achievers, they're more focused on attaining status and achieving like preset goals. And yeah, they're engaged by achievements. Socialites are focused on socializing and drive to develop a network of friends and contacts. Yeah, they're engaged by newsfeed, friends list, chats, etc. Explorers, they focus on exploring and drive to discover the unknown, and they're engaged by like obfuscated achievements. These are like 4 different types and categories of players. In my opinion, very stiff if we talk about Web3 games. There are players driven only by like earnings because they actually only want to earn something. They maybe even do not enjoy the gameplay itself. But yeah, they also exist. I don't want to say that you have to build games for that type because, to be honest, I think that games should be fun and engaging at the first place. They should not be about like earnings or something like that. But this is just one example of how you can think of who are your players. And when you realize actually who are your players, you should think of how to engage every single type of these players. I mean, maybe you will say, no, I do not want to attract, I don't know, explorers. I want to have only killers and achievers. Then you have to think of how to attract and retain these type of users. But the point is, try to think why they play and try to design in your game like corresponding gameplay thinness. Yeah, this is quite just important not to find out that your players are animals, because if so, then you're in trouble as well. Now let's go to most fun and important stuff. Let's talk about social mechanics. Common examples of social mechanics in games on Telegram are referral systems, multi-level or single level, competitions and leaderboards, squads and teams. This is basically competition and leaderboards among teams, not among individuals, and PvP mechanics. This is actually social mechanics as well, and there are 2 types, like synchronous and asynchronous PvP. So yeah, I'll try to cover every single example of social mechanics. And let's start with the first one, which is basically referral system and invitations. If we talk about games on Telegram, and I mostly focus on games on Telegram, because I think that, as I mentioned several times yesterday, this is quite important to have a good distribution channel, and Telegram is a brilliant distribution channel right now because penetration of games is low and it will grow the penetration of games. So you have like a blue ocean of potential players. So if we talk about Telegram and referral systems and invitations, there are basically two types of invitations which exist right now on Telegram. The first one is simple text invitation, which is easier to share but has lower conversions. How it looks like, you can see it on the video. Let me just show the small video how it works. You just have a button saying share it with your invite a friend, and you can send it to your friend. It looks like a message, just a simple text message with a link, which your friend or which a friend of your player can just click, open, and start engaging. This is really easy to share because you just press a button, you just choose your friend, and you send it. There is another example. I call them rich invitations. They're a bit harder to share, but they usually have higher conversion rate, and they open the mini app directly, not the bot. This is quite important because in the first example, user basically opens the bot when he or they click on a link. So again, let me show how it works. The first example, the simple text invitation. Here is just a link. User clicks on the link and it opens the bot, not the mini app directly. With the rich invitations, how it works, you just click invite, then you have this basically inline mode of a bot, and user should click on this area. And when user clicks there, like the counterparty gets like very, very, like, how to say it, rich invitation. I don't know how to even say it. There is a preview. This preview can be basically personalized. So here it says that I, Kardan, have invited you to play, and this is a personalized picture for my friend. And obviously it has higher conversion. And when user clicks play, the mini app opens directly, not the bot itself. It also increases the conversion rate. So there are two ways how you can implement it, and it depends on like how exactly you want to use invitations. If it is a core part of the game, then probably you have to think of personalization and rich invitations. That's actually like the most important stuff I wanted to say about how to design your referral links, referral system. But what is important here, referral systems must provide rewards to users. Rewards can be in your in-game items, like, I don't know, NFTs, or just some bonuses. Rewards can be in your in-game currency. You can use wherever you want, but there should be a reward. And what do we see for games on Telegram is that if there is a reward, users will invite their friends, and it will just give you very, very good acquisition channel, free acquisition channel, basically. If we talk about rewards, this is basically a referral system, and there are also several ways how you can do that. For example, Notcoin, which I have mentioned several times, yesterday. They implemented one level referral system. So you invite a friend and you get a reward for inviting him. Here you see that invite friends to get bonuses, invite friend 2.5k not coins for inviting your friend, or 50k for inviting your friend which has Telegram Premium. And this is just one-time reward. It worked really well, but as far as I remember, Notcoin had higher rewards when they just started. Then they lowered the numbers, but again, it worked really well. Just one level referral system, like 35 million users, and almost all of them were invited by their friends. So another game, the Pixels, with around 2 million overall users, and they have multi-level referral system. So basically, you invite your friend and you get a reward. If your friend invites their friend, then you still get a reward, and they even go like deeper. So basically 3 levels of friends will give you some rewards. And here is another difference. It is not one-time reward, it's like continuous rewards. It means that as much like if your friends play more and get more internal currencies, more rewards you get, like traditional referral system with the percentage that you get from earnings of your friends. So this is quite simple, and yeah, it worked really well too. But again, it depends on the game that you want to build, and it depends on like what will work best for your tokenomics or in-game economics. So both options, they're fine. Just find what works best for you. That's actually it, yeah, about referral system and invitations. Now let's talk about leaderboards and competitions. Leaderboards are always a part of the good game design. I mean, if you have a game, you should have some kind of leaderboard. It can be different types of leaderboards. It can be public leaderboards where you play against like every single user in the game, or it can be private leaderboard, which works only for like you and your friends. For example, you share a game in a chat and you have a leaderboard there. It's completely up to you, but having a leaderboard, it's a good idea usually because it increases retention. It works really good for small groups, especially it's a close, tight group of you and your friends, and you try to compete with each other. The only thing, I mentioned it yesterday as well, there's no native API for mini apps, unfortunately. I mean, here on the left screenshot, you see that there's a game with a yeah, I will not even name this game, but yeah, you see here the native leaderboard. And this leaderboard updates when a user plays a game. Any user plays a game, Telegram records the score and updates the leaderboard accordingly. This works only for Telegram games, which I also mentioned yesterday, that you should not consider as a primary option for you to build your game. You have to think of mini apps, and for mini apps, unfortunately, there is no native leaderboard yet. So here, for example, this is a GeoMapper. This game, they tried to implement leaderboard on their end. So instead of using leaderboards and games platform, they decided to use mini apps and implement leaderboard on their side. So this can be an option. It again depends only on you, on what exactly you want to achieve and what kind of distribution works for you better. With the first game, which I do not want to name, I think it was really important to have leaderboard there, native leaderboard, because this is a viral game, and this game is designed only for, I would say, 2-3 game sessions. I cannot imagine that people will basically gonna be retained in this game, because this is just for like fun and lulz, and you just laugh several times while playing this game and you forget about this game. And for this type of games, maybe leaderboard is a really cool idea. And actually, this game is designed to be distributed among your friends. You just drop the game to the chat with your friends or colleagues, and that's it. That's the general idea of the game. And for this type of games, maybe it's still a good idea to use Telegram games and to have a native leaderboard. Also, competitions or tournaments work good. There are some cases when you have to basically think of having internal like tournaments. For example, there is a game or application called Phantom, which is basically fantasy football. And they implemented these like tournaments, internal tournaments, that everyone can create their own tournament. They can compete with each other. They can have even a prize pool that's going to be distributed among tournament participants. And what worked really well there is that it actually started attracting lots of motivated players. Because just imagine you have a tournament among you and your friends. It sounds cool, right? And especially if there's a prize pool that you can basically distribute, it gives you some kind of it makes the whole game more interesting, not because of the core gameplay, but just because you compete with your friends. And I think it is really good for small groups again. But to be honest, there are not many like really good examples of these types of competitions implemented in the wild. I mean, there's Phantom. They were quite successful as far as I know in this, but I cannot say that this is something common and every single game implements it. No, I would say this is probably the only good example yet. Next thing, teams and squads. It's a great thing to engage KOLs, key opinion leaders, influencers, to engage them, to give them some kind of motivation to attract their users to the game. And it's mostly a marketing thing that helps you to attract KOLs again. But what is important here, don't forget to reward KOLs. So if your players can join a team and compete with other teams, usually it works really well, especially if they have a leader, which is usually a KOL. It works really good. It worked in Notcoin. It works right now in the Pixels. And they have like more than, I guess, 4,000 Telegram communities competing right now on the Pixels. So, and every single community has its own leader. They basically try to compete with each other. They want to get rewards. So having teams and competition among teams usually works really, really well. Next thing about social stuff, PvP. This is the tough topic, but I have to say unpopular opinion here. If you have a chance to avoid online or synchronous PvP, you have to avoid it, because it is really hard to make people wait on Telegram. I mean, if they have to wait, I don't know, minutes in the like lobby or in matchmaking room, there is a high chance that they will just leave. They will not wait because it's Telegram. There are like hundreds of things happening on Telegram every single moment for a user. I mean, there are chats, there are channels, there are like many things happening on Telegram. So if they need to wait, they probably will just leave. They will probably just close your game. So if you can implement PvP in an asynchronous manner, so they should not play like with each other online, but they can do it like, I don't know, step by step, then it's the best thing that you can do with PvP. Online PvP, they do not work well on Telegram. So think of how if PvP is like required and it's a core part of the gameplay, think of how exactly you can make it. You can make it more friendly for a user. Okay, now let's talk more about numbers, like conversion and retention, how to improve these numbers. Again, retention is the most important number for you. There are different types of retentions. Retentions are the first day, 7th day, 14th day. But in general, retention gives you an opportunity to earn more, because if you can retain your users, you can sell them items, in-game items, you can then upsell something, and usually it means that you are just more successful and you are better as a game. So yeah, we'll talk about retention, how to retain your players, and I will talk a bit about tips and tricks of how to convert users. Let's talk about conversion first. Here I highlighted several things that you have to do with your mini app if you want to increase the conversion rate from a bot user to a mini app user. First, what you can do is you can basically pin a message with a button. Usually the entry point to your mini app on Telegram is a bot. For example, here we had a Pixels bot. And right after the start message, your bot can send a reply with like a link to the game and a button and all the stuff. And in the bot API, there is an ability to pin a message. And if you pin a message with such a button, the button will appear on the top of the chat. And it increases the conversion rate from a user to from a bot user to a mini app user or to a player, basically. So pin the message with a button, so your users will have this button on the top of the chat, and it actually attracts a lot of attention. A lot of attention from users. So don't hesitate to do this. Next thing is to customize this button, which opens the mini app. And using emojis and numbers, it works really well. Here you see like there are emojis here on the pinned message, on the pinned button. Here is an emoji in the main button, which opens the mini app. Basically, both buttons, they do the same. They just open the mini app on Telegram, but they are like customized with a emoji and with a number. And it usually increases the conversion rate from the bot user to a player. So please do that. Again, many Telegram users, they are not used to mini apps yet. They haven't used any mini app so far. So if you can highlight that there is a button, hey mate, you can click this button and open the mini app, then it usually increases your conversion rate. And here, for example, Telegram App Center, they do the same. They try to highlight that there is a button, but they do it in a different manner. They just send a message saying like checkout navigation. So yeah, you see this arm pointing to the button, and you're probably gonna click to this button. Overall, yeah, pin a message. So you will have a button on the top of the chat. Use numbers and emojis, and pictures and GIF images. They increase conversion rate on every single stage. So if you can use a good picture preview like here, or you can use GIF images or videos, then we highly recommend to do that, because it usually increases conversion rates to a player. Oops. And yeah, actually, don't forget that people come here to be entertained. So entertain them with GIFs, entertain them with videos. And if GIFs are fun, it usually means that users will not leave the bot, will not mute the bot, because even if they do not play the game, they get some fun messages. And because of that, people will stick to your game. So use that. Use GIFs, use fun pictures. Next, how to convert from a player to a paying player. Actually, here I want to highlight only two things. First, there is a wallet pay, which is very, very user-friendly, which is quite simple to make a transaction, which also even supports on-ramp. So it means that if user has no tokens, wallet pay basically will guide a user through the whole on-ramp process. So users will basically buy crypto from their bank account and then pay in your application. So wallet pay is the best option for newcomers, for new users. But there's also Ton Connect, which can be used for in-app purchases, which can be used for authorization, which can be used for every type of on-chain transaction, basically. So wallet pay is only for payments and uses custodial part of the wallet, but has the best user experience if we talk only about payments. There's Ton Connect, which can do more. It can basically help you to authorize user. You can get users' wallet address. Users can pay. Users can invoke or call any on-chain smart contract. But the onboarding for Ton Connect is a bit worse. So what you should do, you should use both wallet pay and Ton Connect. I would say wallet pay should be the primary option if you need only like payments in your game. If you need authorization on-chain transactions, obviously you need Ton Connect. What about the wallet pay? Wallet pay has usually like 2 times better conversion rates to a paying user. So don't forget about wallet pay. In the ideal world, you have to implement both. If you can do that. If not, and you need Ton only for payments, think of the wallet pay. If you need Ton for on-chain transactions, not only payments, then think of Ton Connect. Couple words about retention mechanics. Actually, there are several things that I want to cover here. First, time-limited activities. With time-limited activities, I mean like boxes, something that gonna end in like, I don't know, 2 hours, it usually works. It usually works really well when you say, hey, we'll have this activity, but it's going to last only for 1 day, and you have a chance to win something, or you have a chance to get a special character in our game. It usually works. And Gato, they use it really, really, really well. Yesterday I talked about Gato, and yeah, this is just an example of 1 month that they had implemented like these boxes and all the stuff. They had 50K in monthly subscriptions from recurrent users. So basically it's MRR, monthly recurrent revenue. And they had 20K sales with limited time activities. So they said that we are going to sell like 10,000 boxes, and they sold for $20,000 in just like in minutes. So many other teams do the same. They have time limited activities and they work really well, and they retain your users. If you say that we are going to have an activity and you have a chance to buy a unique item, it usually retains your users. Next thing which helps to retain your users is a lucky wheel. And there are many apps implemented like you will. For example, Gamey, one of the oldest games catalog on Telegram. Numbers are not from the Gamey, but on the right there's a screenshot from the Gamey. Another game which has implemented like you will, they increased their retention rate for 7th day by 4% and retention for the first day by 11%, which is really good. So just by implementing like you will, you can increase retention rate. And it works everywhere, not only in game catalogs. It works in a single game as well. But what you have to think of, you should not break your game balance. I mean, you have to give away something if you have a lucky wheel. You have to give away in-game currency, ton coin, I don't know, in-game items, whatever. But if you make it like a disbalanced, if you give away too many like coins, tickets, wherever, you can easily break your game balance. So design it carefully. Do not give away like too many things. That's how I would put it. And streaks and then daily incentives. It works really well for games like the Pixels, because the Pixels, it's a 10 weeks game, and in this game they implemented streaks. So basically you have to, if you play every single day, you get higher rewards in the game. If you miss a day, then you start from the beginning. And it means that people who played, I don't know, 3 days in a row, they stick to your game. They do not want to lose the streak. And I think it works not only for games, it works for every single like mini app or where you can have this type of incentivization. I think the best example of the application with streaks I've ever seen is Duolingo, where you like have these streaks. You even have like a functionality to take a break from streak because you do not want to lose the streak. So streaks work really well. And like the best case I've seen is retention rate was increased for the 7th day, was increased by 18%, which is like, it's something exceptional. I think that you should not expect this type of numbers, but it actually increases the retention rate really well. So think of streaks, think of how exactly you're going to implement that. And yeah, I think that if you properly implement it, it will increase your retention rate, stickiness of players, and it will give you a lot. And last but not least, I think Notcoin is the best example here. Try to make a FOMO. Try to make a fear of missing out of something. It is not about like money earnings. This is about like that you want to be a part of a movement. And Notcoin is the best example of FOMO. So I don't know how to implement it. If I would have a receipt here, I would just, I don't know, create thousands of games with this FOMO every single week. But try to think of how you actually want to create a FOMO for your users. They have to fear to miss something important out. And that's actually it. I'll try to answer your questions now. And I already see 3 questions there. Can we change the theme of game bot page directly for better text referrals and later to change app bot theme for fests and events? Unfortunately, you cannot change the theme of a chat of a bot of a chat with a bot. So you can only send messages there. Basically, you cannot set any like background colors wherever. So yeah, you can only change the content of a message that you send. We need to implement Jeton and NFT minting, and we are low on time for this hackathon. Do you recommend only opting Ton Connect first this hackathon? Yeah, if you want to implement Jeton and NFT minting, then you have to think of Ton Connect. To be honest, I believe for NFT minting, there is an API from the Get Gems team. I'm not sure that this API is public, but maybe you have to contact Get Gems team and ask them, are they ready to provide this API or not? I think it will just simplify this process for you. And also have a look on the Assets SDK. There is a library called Assets SDK on GitHub. So it simplifies work with Jeton and NFTs. So have a look on it. I think it will simplify the whole process. And yeah, think of Ton Connect if you need any on-chain transactions. What if wallet pay is not available in my country? That's a good question. Wallet pay is not available in some countries. In this case, that's what I'm saying, why I'm saying that you have to implement both Ton Connect and wallet pay, because with the wallet pay, you will have higher conversion rate, but it is not available in some countries. So for people in those countries, you have to offer Ton Connect. So yeah. And with the wallet pay, actually, I haven't mentioned it, but with the wallet pay, you basically need to go through the KYB process. I believe there is a way how you can launch wallet pay as an individual as well. But yeah, at least you have to go through some kind of KYC process anyways. So you cannot just add wallet pay. You have to go through the moderation process there. Well, I do not see any other questions. If there are any, I'm ready to answer. If not, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Huge thanks to Inal for 2 awesome workshops. We hope they will be enough for our hackathon participants to create their own games in Telegram and Ton. And if you watch this video in recording, you can leave your comments, and we will answer all of them on our last workshop. So yeah, we have one more question. What is the best way to implement leaderboard for TMA? Does Ton have a service like Third Graph?
The graph, I guess the graph. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no service like the graph. Leaderboards for mini apps should be implemented on your end now. I mean, there is no like a service that you can easily take and do. There is a Redapt, which is, I would say, it's more like a Dune analytics rather than the graph, but I think that Redapt APIs can help you to simplify the process. It is not the same as the graph, but yeah, it simplifies the process. So have a look on the Redapt.
Okay, cool. So I think that's all. Again, Inal, thank you. And I wish everyone good luck and have a good weekend. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.